Hello, welcome to my Litho Cosmetics guide. As you can probably tell by what you're seeing, I really like Litho's mattes. I also like their shimmers, but the thing is I haven't purchased from Litho in a while because I have been honestly just waiting for a good sale. Let's talk about prices first. Litho's prices of the single eyeshadows go from $6.50, I believe, to $16.50. However, I'm gonna get into it when I go to the website. There's many ways you can purchase these eyeshadows, and you don't have them to get them as singles. You can buy them in palettes that you build yourself or in pre-made palettes, and that will make the price go down. So I think most of these you're gonna get them for cheaper than that. Unless you're really just like, you just want like 2, 3, 4 shades, there might be a better value for you in other ways to get them. In terms of the pan size, these are 16 millimeters. No, sorry, it's not 16. 26 millimeters, but square pans, right? I think you can see that they're square. Menagerie has the same format, and so Touch Up Glam. The old Adept shades were also this size. Now they're smaller. I think this is it off the top of my head that I can think of other brands that have the same pan size. And in terms of sales, Litho does sales pretty frequently. I would say they usually do like 30% off the palette designer, which is when you can build your own palette. But they also do, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 20% off site-wide, which is what I'm waiting for. Because if you want to get a palette, if you can get it on a discount, you can get these shades as singles for like less than $4 each, which is a really good deal, especially on their newer palettes that have the Multichromes, which I believe are around $9 each individually. And you can get them for like $4 or less if you get them in a palette. But what I was saying is that they do with them pretty, like, I guess like 4 times a year I would say, so it's definitely worth waiting for a sale and getting them on a sale. Oh, I also wanted to say that their palettes are magnetic, so even if you buy a pre-made palette, which is what I like, most of these that you're seeing, these are pre-made palettes that I wanted most of the shades, and you know, like, it ended up being a better deal to buy the palette and buying the shades individually. You buy them, and then, I mean, this one was not, but you can just, you know, like this. You pop them out of the palette, you label them, and now you have a single. So this is how I built my Litho single collection. I think that if you are new to the indie makeup world and you don't mind having square pans, because I know for some people the square pans can really be a problem, you know, especially they like doing custom palettes in like pre-made palettes where you need to have like square pans, like all the pans needs to be the same size. Litho could be a problem for you. But if you don't mind having square pans, that is a really good way for you to build your collection, because I feel that you can get a really good price for what you're getting. And I personally love Litho's mattes. They have lots of colors, you know, like variations and nuances. And I think that they're like just really easy to work with, you know, like if you're like me and like I'm not the best blender out there, they are pigmented but not super pigmented, not super powdery. They just blend really well. I don't have like problems with patchiness. I just really like their mattes. And their shimmers, I'm gonna get into it once I go to the website, but they have a few different formulas. Personally, I love the sparkly shimmer formula, and I find their website to be really good on that particular point, where the photo of the pan can really show you the texture of the shadow, so you can definitely see which ones are sparkly, which ones are more satin. So at least I like that part of it a lot. I think like you kind of know what you're getting. But I have to say, lots of people don't like Litho's shimmer formula, and I can understand that for like the ones that are like the more like satin metallics. But the shimmers, like the ones that are like more sparkly, like this one, I just find these to look super sparkly on the eyes. They swatch okay, but they really shine on the eyes. That's how, at least like my experience with these. Okay, and then in terms of resources, I don't know if I'm missing anything. I would say that I don't know anyone who gets PR from Litho, or like anyone that gets PR consistently from Litho. So the resources that I can tell you is that I have a guide where I swatched all of my Litho shadows. It is in my old setup, so you know, not the highest quality, but if you really want to see how a shade looks like, or like how similar some shades are to each other, like all of these reds here, I think my guide could help you. So I'm gonna link my guide down below as usual. And the other two people that I'm gonna give you as a resource are, one of them is my friend Teresa on Instagram. I'm gonna link her Instagram down below. She has some swatches of custom palettes from that she made of Litho, but she has a recent post where she swatched one of the newest palettes from them, and the shimmer, it's like, she told me that the shimmer formula on like the newer palette seems to be like even better than their old shimmer formula. So I'm gonna link, she might have a Litho guide. If she does, I'm gonna link the guide down below. So if you want to see their newer shades, which I don't have swatched, I would definitely recommend you check out her Instagram, because you can really see how shiny the shimmers are. And I'm also gonna link down below the Instagram of Amanda from A Makeup Journey. She is currently swatching all of her Litho mattes, I believe. I don't know if she plans on swatching any shimmers. I don't think she likes their shimmers, I could be wrong. But she's doing something that is so clever. She's putting the images from the Litho website next to the swatch, so you can see how accurate the swatch, like the website image is. And I find that like Litho's website images are overall pretty accurate, but sometimes you're gonna see a matte that looks quite different from the in real life compared to the image on the website. So like that, I find that super helpful, even though like I already have most of their mattes. So I'm gonna link her Instagram down below, and if she has a guide, I will also link the guide. But those are the only like resources I can give you. I mean, usually Litho, I kind of buy it blindly, just like trusting the website, because I do think that their website is actually really good. Yeah, like it's not one of those websites where you cannot see what you're getting. I think you can get like a pretty good idea of what you're getting on their website. So that's it. Let's just go straight into it. Okay, so now we are at the Litho Cosmetics website, and I feel like I would probably be able to explain to you the formula better with a PowerPoint presentation rather than using the website, but I'm gonna try to. So their website's not that bad. I think it's pretty straightforward. There's many ways you can buy, not many ways, well, there's a few ways you can buy eyeshadows from them. You can buy their palettes. All their palettes are magnetic, I believe. Maybe, I don't know about this one, but all their like classic ones like this are magnetic. Berlin 89 has a smaller, like the pens are smaller than the other ones, and so is the 1UP palette, but all the other ones have the standard Litho size. So you can buy the palettes, and they're all magnetic. You can label them and then turn them into singles, which is what I have personally done, because I really like the Litho matte formula. I also like their really sparkly formula. So for me, it was much better, value to buy the palettes they have, just label them and turn them into singles, which is what I have on my collection. And depending on the shades that you want, that might also be a better value for you, because when you break down the price of the palette per the singles, they come like I don't know, the price value varies, right? Like you have 47, 39, this one is 50, 52, but it's like around $4 per single. So that's a pretty good deal, especially for these multi-chrome ones, because the multi-chromes in these palettes are around $9. So getting them for $4 is a pretty good deal. The second way you can buy the shadows is really just buy them as singles. And I think that's only going to be a good deal for you if you really don't want to get many. If you just want to get like 2, 3, 4, then maybe the best way for you to do them is just really get them as singles, like this. You just get the single and you buy it. The third way, which is if you want to get, let's say 12 singles, 18 singles, and for some reason none of the palettes is a good value for you or for what you want, then you can get it using the palette designer. And they will do sales on this palette designer. Every now and then you can get them usually for like 30% off. So if this is what you want to do, I don't want this tutorial. Okay, this is what you want to do. I would just say wait for a sale, so that you can get these with some sort of a discount. But pretty much, you choose the palette you want. You have many palettes to choose from. And then here you select the shadows you want, like you put them in. I'm gonna put the same one. I just want to show you the price, so usually when you use the palette designer, you're gonna get a discount at the end, but it's not a big discount. It's usually better to just wait until you have the 30% or something. so you can get a better deal. Okay, so now it's giving me 20% off. Before, when I tried the other day, it was giving me 13% off. I guess it was the palette that I chose. So you see, you're pretty much paying for the palette. So like the price that you see here, 95, is the price of the palette plus all the singles, and then they're giving you 20% off on that. So you're paying for the palette too. So that's why I think that if you don't really want the magnetic palette, waiting for a better deal is going to be the best way for you to go. So yeah, these are the ways that you can buy from Litho. Now, talking about the formulas, they have, I'm going to start with the simple formula, which is the mattes. I really like Litho's mattes. It's probably one of the only brands, you know, Natasha Denona being another one, where I'm like, when I buy a palette from them, the mattes are one of the reasons why I would buy them. Like, most of the time, like, if I buy a palette, the mattes are just like a bonus, you know, for having the palette. Most of the time I'm just buying the palettes for the shimmers, because I have lots of mattes, and like, I don't use mattes every time I do my eyeshadow, but I love Litho's mattes. They have lots of colors, and I find their formula very easy to work with. They're pigmented, not super, you know, powdery, but they blend very easily, and they have some like really pretty colors. Like Altitude is one of my favorites. So because of that, I really like buying the magnetic palettes, you know, in the Color Story is a really good deal for me, because I want those mattes as well. And the price of these, I guess, they're all $6.50, which is a pretty good price. Not super expensive, but also not the cheapest ones out there. Then they have a smooth metallic formula that is really on the dull side, but I have to say I don't hate it, because I like using them as like a base for a look and then going with a sparkly topper on top. I do that a lot with two shadows from them. They're like two browns. I have to see, I have them on my palette next to each other, but you know, you can kind of see by the photos, like this one looks much more smooth than this one, right? So this is like a smooth metallic on the dull side, and just so you know, lots of people don't like this formula because it's really not super shiny. So you just have to have that in mind. Then they have a sparklier formula, and I think here you can see the two types of sparkly formula they have. They have a sparkly formula that like doesn't have much of a shift. It's just like a sparkly black, a sparkly green, and these are $7, you see. And the ones that are like more of a duochrome, they're $7.50. Synth, Heather, Flourish, like all of these Pioneer seem to be that formula of like a sparkly duochrome. I have to say one thing about this formula, at least for me. Most of the time, eyeshadows are gonna swatch sparklier on your hand than they will be on your eyes, because your hand is like a smooth surface. So that already adds a shine to it. So having the sparkly formula on a smooth surface, most of the time, will look shinier than on your lids where you have like the fold of the skin, right? However, Litho's formula is probably the only formula that looks sparklier on my eyes than on my hands. I know lots of people don't like Litho's formula, including their sparkly formula. You know, like I know that it's like one of the only brands that like has shocked me to find out people don't like their formula. So I have to say it out there. But I guess it could be that maybe they never tried it on their eyes, because I feel like that's where the magic happens. For me, you know, I remember the first time I used Synth, I was blown away, because it really like, it looked sparkly on my hands, but it looked ultra sparkly on my eyes. So I really like this formula, but take it with a grain of salt, because, you know, lots of people don't like it. And then they have their Multichrome formula, which is the $9 formula, and the $16.50. So I believe that the $9 formula is their newer formula, and these are like sparkly, more sheer, more pastel shades, while the $16.50 formula, which is this one here, these are more opaque and a little bit inconsistent. I've seen people swatch these. Like, you can kind of see like Nebula, it's a smooth shadow, or Singularity is more sparkly. But I would say, like, if you have a lot of multichromes, you probably have dupes for all of these, because these are not unique shadows by any means, okay? They are like, they have been done, like, this is like the Cosmos, you know, like every brand has like a version of the Cosmos now. So unless you really like Litho's formula and it adds value to you to have like these shadows in a square pan, I probably would say you already have a dupe for this, you know, or you're probably better off just getting from another brand, because it might be sparklier. Um, you know, so yeah, I haven't seen many like great reviews about these, and based on the swatches I have seen, they just look very, very like commonplace multichromes. Yeah, like Proxima, you can see like it's really like a pink to gold, but really like dull looking. Like I mean, I don't know. I don't have these. Okay, I had planned to get them, but then after I saw like a bunch of reviews on them, I was like, no, I have shades like this, and I don't need these. And these you can only buy them in the bundles. They're not part of any color story. The 1650 ones, well, the $9 ones, as I said, are part of palettes. So yeah, I think this is it about the Lethos eyeshadows. I'm not gonna go over the other stuff they have because I don't have many. Like I have some gel liners, I have some of the liquid eyeshadows, but I don't think I have enough to really give you a overview or a review of them. I had one gel liner, it was fine, it was really opaque, but I've seen like it drying on other people, and the liquid shadows that I have are a different formula than the ones that they have here because I had the really sparkly formula. Oh yeah, they even seem like they discontinued. Like this one, I've seen really bad reviews, so I think they're like more of a smooth formula. So yeah, I'm not sure about those. I'm sorry for this being a little bit chaotic. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if it was a little bit chaotic, and if you have ever tried Letho and you don't like them, please let me know down below in the comments why you don't like it, because I have been trying to figure out why people don't like the sparkly formula, you know? But yeah, just let me know your thoughts, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.